On December 4th, the movie Godmothered premiered on Disney+. Here's what I thought about it. This video may contain spoilers for Disney's Godmothered. Watch at your own risk. In Disney's Godmothered, a young and unskilled fairy godmother ventures out on her own to prove her worth by tracking down a young girl whose request for help was ignored. I really enjoyed this movie. It was reminiscent of Enchanted, which is a movie that I really love, and I thought it was good. So one thing to note about this movie is that it was genuinely funny and dark at times, but like not in a way that's gonna go over your kid's head. I don't know if there are any parents who watch my channel, probably not. But there is a joke somewhere in the beginning where Eleanor, that's the name of the fairy godmother, after she goes into the real world, she doesn't have a home, and a group of homeless people offer to take her in, and in her words, as long as she doesn't mind sharing knitting needles. That line came up and I was like, but the movie doesn't rely on that type of humor to try and be funny. It's not just like dark, 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 and that's the whole movie. Like, it has an actual interesting plot. One thing I liked about the movie is that the romance between Mackenzie, the human woman who Eleanor has been assigned to godmother, and her love interest, Hugh Prince, it wasn't forced at all. Well, in the narrative, Eleanor forces it a little bit, but that's just like her character. She's like me. She gets overinvested in other people's love lives. But unlike me, she didn't do it as a way to cope. But the romance itself developed pretty nicely, and honestly, it was completely believable, and I'm not 100% sure that Mackenzie would have needed Eleanor's intervention to get with Hugh, because I feel like they were just a good couple. The movie also contained many shout-outs to The Sound of Music, including an entire scene where they do a sing-along to My Favorite Things, and honestly, you can never go wrong with Sound of Music references. One thing I wasn't so much a fan of, the news staff, that's where Mackenzie works. They seemed corrupt to like a cartoony degree. Like, I for one have never met a single person like any of the people on that news staff. Like, they literally just existed to try and make other people miserable and make money. Like, I would have appreciated if maybe there was a little less, like, of, like, if they had a little more fleshed out, like, personality. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into this movie for kids. And now we get to talk about my absolute favorite thing about Godmothered. The main character of the movie, or at least the co-main character, Eleanor, is played by actress Jillian Bell. And her character is plus-sized. And her weight isn't like a joke or anything. She's just like a person. And she even gets to like wear a pretty dress and like be beautiful and have a personality outside of just being like a one-dimensional joke. And I mean, she's like a funny character, but like her weight has nothing to do with that. Like, you could have a skinny person playing the same role and you wouldn't have to change a single thing. And it may sound shallow, but that alone made Godmothered worth the watch for me. I have a milkshake now. Thanks, Mom. It's chocolate flavor. Anyway, I personally would give Godmothered an 8 out of 10. Well, it wasn't like an all-time favorite, but it was fun. It made me smile. And yeah, if you were a fan of Enchanted especially, I would recommend this movie. Thank you for watching, and have a happy holiday season.